All right, here we are Wednesday night. We are live, live, live. And here we are with the man, the myth, the legend who seems to be chilling like a villain himself.
That's me.
The
What's
one
going
and
on?
only. That's me himself, Jizzy Pearl. Jizzy, man, how the hell have you been, my friend?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm doing good.
It's kind of crazy. Like I was going back, we did an interview years ago, and I was going through the archives, and it was literally just over 8 years ago the last time we did one of these. And back then, there was no such thing as being able to see each other to do these.
Wow. 8 years, huh?
Yeah, man. Where
Okay.
has all the time gone?
Yeah. You know what? They have this thing called Just for Men that you might want to just just my 2 cents, you know.
You know what? I used to do the whole just for men thing. And then like as I was like one day like sitting there in front of the mirror, like mixing it up in the little uh plastic container it comes with, I said to myself, I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? Like what am I doing? Like I had like the little soul patch thing at the time and I was like painting. I'm like what
Soul patch.
But then I did find out before I stopped using it. I think it was just for men. They came out with like a shampoo
Mm.
that works really good too. So I was using that
Well,
for a while.
guys like me, we like to keep the dream alive. You know what I mean? So we do what we do.
Well, I mean, you look great, and like I have an uncle who's I think he's 81 years old, and if you put us side by side, you'd say that guy's 20 years younger than you.
Mm. Well, yeah. I mean, we do what we can to stay fit. That's for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you have two things that you just well the book's been out for a little bit now. Your fourth book, All the Devils. Uh, the new Love Hate album just came out officially a few days ago. Hell, California. Um, so as these both are out there now, the first thing I kind of said to myself, especially with the book, because it's been what like 15 years since your last book.
It's been a while since I wrote my last book.
So was it like pandemic inspired, like time to do
It
another one?
was lockdown, yes, for sure. Time on my hands, or as Sticks would say, too much time on my hands.
Had you been thinking at all before the pandemic about doing another book at all, or was this
I actually I thought that I would put out. Hold on a minute. Get out of here, dog. Um, I thought that I would reissue my old books first. You know what
okay?
I mean? Because they hadn't been out in a hard copy. And I thought, you know what, now is a good time to do it. And I sold out of one of them. And then I wrote a new one, because I had this time and we weren't gigging. So, yeah. And I recorded and made the record also during that time.
Did you ever think about doing kind of like a joint like book album to correspond with each other?
Mm-mm. No,
No, no.
no, I'm not that sophisticated, dude.
Come on, dude. You're writing books. Yeah, there's some sophistication there. You might not want to admit it.
Well, I can string sentences together. No, I enjoy writing, and I enjoy writing books. Books are fun, and I enjoy making records. And when the record comes out, it's people get to hear it, and the reviews have been good, and
Mhm.
so it's good.
Do you approach either one any different, whether it's music or a book?
Well, they're different disciplines, but whatever it is, I immerse myself in it, whether it be writing books or records. It's the same thing. You have to get away from the television and really just kind of get in a room and dig deep.
So now with the book, let's touch on that first. The art that was one thing I always wanted too. Like the art for all your books is do you do that yourself or do you have an artist? Or?
No, I commission it. I find a
Okay.
guy that I give him the idea, and then he sorts it. He sort of, does it.
Okay. Now, the weird thing was too. I noticed on your website where you can order the book, you only had 385 copies available. Why that weird number?
I mean, maybe you know what? When you go to the printer and you order, say 350, there's something called an overage.
Okay.
So they anticipate that they're going to give you extra books. So maybe that's where that magical 385 came from.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, is there like a little secret thing behind
No,
that?
no
Are you
Luciferian significance.
you're not playing that number in the lottery every day?
No, no.
So now, how about like I saw too. You're really getting active on YouTube now. You're like telling some stories and stuff, and
J
um,
Pearl TV. Yeah, it's good, and people seem to dig it. It's there's a lot of people doing YouTube stuff. There's
mhm,
like guys like you. I mean, there's a lot
sure.
of guys out there. So I'm just trying to do my thing and have fun with it. And yeah, it's fun.
I was watching one of the videos earlier, and it really is an interesting thing when you come to think of it. And you were going through an old Rock City newspaper, and you're going through like all the bands from the scene back in the day and all, and it's what happened to all them people. It's a funny thing. Like, where are they at now?
Well, I think people ask me about the Sunset Strip a lot, and I talk about it in my books. And it's a good subject to talk about because I was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not many people from that time can talk about it, and and had the experience. So it's fun for me to talk about it. And when you reference that one story about the magazine and the bands and
Hmm.
stuff, I just wanted to illustrate how many bands were actually on the strip
Yeah.
playing during that time. There were hundreds and hundreds, and yeah, I mean, most of them didn't, get record deals or anything like that, but
Right.
they had the experience and they had a great time, and they played the Whiskey and the Troubadour and the Roxy, and the innocence of youth and all that kid
Hmm.
stuff.
But the is it kind of hard for you to believe because you mentioned it quite a few times in multiple videos? It almost seems like you're kind of shocked that you
Shocked that I made
are
it.
shocked at what?
Shocked that I made it.
Yeah, like and that you're still doing it today and making a living and supporting your
It's what's
family.
more shocking is that I'm still doing it. I think that when you get the record deal, and granted, most people don't get the record deal. It was
Hmm.
it was like getting the Wonka golden ticket. Um, but the real test is to have longevity,
Right.
is to keep working and making money, and still, making good records. You know what I
Right.
mean? After all this time, I mean, a lot of people are comparing this to my earlier love hate records like Blackout
Absolutely.
stuff, which is, I mean, that bar is set very high because
Hmm.
those couple of records were amazing.
They truly are. I mean, I still, I have like a handful of albums that I still like, probably like a top 10 list of albums in my head that I have to go back to and just crank every so often. And Blackout in the Red Room is definitely one of them. That
It
album just,
is. It is. I mean, that was a moment in time. It was a great record. I mean, it won Best Record of the Year overseas in a bunch of the metal magazines and stuff. I mean, yeah, it was a good achievement, man.
mhm, absolutely. Now, with the new album, Hell California, that kind of goes back to that first album. That was a song on the first album. So,
Yes,
all these years
indeed.
later, what made you revisit it and call the album this now?
I just think it's a good title. I mean, there was no thought behind it. I just Golden Robot and I made a deal, and like I said, it was just around the time that we locked down, and it was fortuitous that I had a record, and could make a record, and we did it on FaceTime, which was a first, which was kind
Hmm.
of weird, because I couldn't be there directly in
Right.
LA. you know, because I don't live in LA anymore.
Hmm.
So that was a little, um, you know, that was a little rough, but we got through it, and the finished product is killer.
So it's actually recorded on FaceTime?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
My guitar player Darren lives in LA, and
Okay.
so he was at the studio with the engineer,
Okay,
and
I
so
got
I'm
you.
on FaceTime, like the Eye of Sauron. You know what I mean? Watching and you know, making sure everything was killer.
I got you. I got you. Okay. Um, so now who's all playing on the album? Is that like the new lineup of the band that's on the
Well,
album, or
Darren, who played on my All You Need Is Soul record,
okay,
and Dave Moreno, who's the drummer for Puddle of Mud, he's played on
okay,
pretty much all my records. And I use Stevie Pierce and Christian Kimmett, who are part of my UK band. When I
okay,
go tour the UK with Love Hate, those guys are my band, and I thought, you know what, it would be a good thing to have them on the record as well, obviously.
hmm,
And so that was another obvious FaceTime deal
okay,
because you know the UK was locked down. You know,
right.
I so yeah, so yeah, I mean it was it was good. Everyone did great, and you know it shows on the record. I think the
Absolutely.
musicianship is really good.
I, I'm telling you, it like you said, it is right up there with Blackout in the Red Room, without a doubt. It's like it just like you know the next chapter.
It's almost like it's 1992 again.
Absolutely. So, will there be any live shows? I mean, I know you're busy with Quiet Riot, but any like Vegas or LA
Well,
shows or
you know, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I do have quite a full schedule with Quiet Riot, and a lot of shows, and I'm excited to get back on the road again. And yeah, but you know, sure, there'll probably be some love hate stuff, you know, in the year for sure.
sweet, sweet. So now, with the book, going back to that, like we said, it's been 15 years, and did you have these stories like waiting to get out, or
No, that was like I said. I mean, I decided to reissue these two books
okay?
and the other one, which is sold out already. And I just thought, you know what, it's a good time to write another book. And so, like I said, I mean, I didn't have any material.
Wow.
You know, I don't tend to have songs from 5 or 6 years ago that I kind of, you know what I mean. I kind of do it
Right.
on one big thing. So that's what I did with the new book, All the Devils. I just kind of ground 300 pages out, and
Wow.
yeah.
just just ground 300 pages. Yeah, just crank it out like it's nothing, right?
Well, you know, when I get into it, you know, strong coffee and you know, I can grind. There's a lot of guys like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I, I'm I'm productive. I like to be productive. When I'm not productive, it makes me feel like I'm
Mm.
getting old, and I don't want to feel lazy in my mind, and I always want to have. That's why I'm doing the J Pearl TV, the YouTube channel right now, because it's almost like I can write a short story
Hmm.
and then put it up immediately. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of cool. I mean, YouTube is it's a strange beast. You know what I mean? You just
It really is.
I'm kind of navigating the whole you know, avoiding the f bombs and the stuff that'll get you kicked off, and you know what I mean. I'm walking that weird fine line of of that.
Right. It is so weird. Like I moved a couple years ago to Nashville, and for years I was always like, I need to like cut the cord and get rid of cable TV and this and that. And since I've come to Nashville, I've done just that, and now I spend like every night going down a YouTube rabbit hole of it's amazing the stuff you can find. It's like, why do you need cable TV anymore?
You don't. Well, I mean,
No.
you need to know what's going on in your neighborhood and in your world and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. my wife hates certain video things I watch because I watch, I have a eclectic, goofy tastes. I like watching certain things, and but yeah, I mean, it's a um, cornucopia. I mean, there's you could sit there for years,
You could.
and some people do.
I'm sure. I'm sure. You could probably like just do a show on there like you did, just going through and reading old Rock City newses and doing where are they now?
Well, I do a bunch of different stuff. Like I said, I mean, I come from that Guns N' Roses, Sunset Strip
Hmm.
time, and I have a wealth of rock and roll stories. I mean, a lot of the rock and roll stories I can't mention
Yeah.
because they're gnarly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I don't want to, I don't want to get canceled, so to speak. So, but yeah, I mean, all musicians that have been touring for a long time have great stories. They always say in interviews, what was your craziest rock and roll story? I mean, I got hundreds.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. Like I said, it's fun to do an instant thing and go on YouTube and you can just watch it. It's cool.
Do you ever say to yourself too, though, like with those stories, like I don't believe like what I witnessed or was part of, and how much trouble people could get into now.
Well, you could get a lot of trouble before the internet, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Before the internet, you could get away with a lot of stuff, and I did, and everybody did. It's not
Right.
just me. I
Yeah.
mean, the guys and the girls, we all went to ancient Rome, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it was great. But now the internet has sort of, and obviously I'm married now, so it's the shenanigans are a thing of the past. But I can still, have fun and talk about it.
So do you like I like you're saying you doing the YouTube thing and all now, but do you see yourself, or are you still writing for potentially another book or another album, or
Well,
if it
I have some songs and stuff like that. I mean, I take, I, I do things I'm not a guy that can do six different things at once.
okay.
Like when I'm touring, it's a physical thing. I'm running, I'm rehearsing,
Hmm.
and we have a lot of touring. So there's not going to be a whole lot of time to record a solo record or a Jizzy Love Hate record rather, or write another book. I mean, if it'll be in dribs and drabs, you know what I mean? It'll be
Right.
I have time off that I can focus on doing those kind of things.
Interesting. Now you're out there in Vegas now, and I know you're in with the Count's whole crew at his studio and everything. Are you like
Yeah.
a car guy and all, or?
I have a car. Um, I used to back when I had money when I first got my record deal. I I had to have the $3,000 stereo system in my car because I was the guy that sold it to me said Duff McKagan had the exact same. You know what I mean? You get
Right, right.
caught
You get
up
caught up.
in this thing of you have to be, what everyone thinks you're going to be and stuff. And then the car got stolen, obviously, and
Oh, lovely.
so I'm just, you know, the Count is a guy I've known for a long time, and I know his band, and yeah, he actually married us, me and my wife. He's a preacher.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. As I've interviewed Danny a few times. Great, great freaking guy. And actually, I emailed Kevin after I saw the picture of you and your wife.
Yeah,
I emailed Kevin. I said, "Hey, any chance I just got engaged that Danny can marry me and my fiance?" And he's like, "Yeah, he did that for Jizzy because they're friends. He's not going to do that for everybody."
yeah, yeah. I think when he married us, everybody was kind of wanted him to, because the thing is, he had the Bible, the Bible that Elvis married Priscilla with.
Oh,
How he got it from somebody, but
wow.
that was the exact same Bible. And so I did Elvis's vows, and
Really?
crazy.
That's very, very interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Wow,
trippy.
that's cool. Yeah, man, for sure. Wow, you blew me away on that one.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, who
cool.
knew, right?
Yeah, that's very cool. Nice. So, all right. So, now what do you? I mean, Quiet Riot's doing a ton of things. Um, is it no? That was it. No videos. Why was there no videos for the new Love Hate album?
Um, I don't know. I videos have really diminished in their importance. Do you know what I'm saying? I
Okay.
mean, I talk about it in that last vlog that I did, that I always thought MTV would be playing videos, and now I have to be 16 and pregnant to get on MTV.
Yeah.
It's just times have changed, man. People people don't buy records the way they used to. People don't. There's no more MTV. There's limited radio stations. It's the whole landscape has changed, and the importance of having the video and the single aren't. It isn't the same
Mm,
as I think it was. Even 5 years ago.
it's true. Yeah, I was wondering why. 'Cause I know, like, Frontiers, Golden Robot, that whole crew over there. They're pretty. Usually they're pumping out a bunch of videos. I was like, wait a minute, Jizzy doesn't have any videos.
Let's call them and find out.
That's it. Let's call him. So now, say if they did approach you and say, "Hey, Jizzy, we want you to do like they're famous for doing like these all-star lineup bands. Is there
Oh,
anybody
you
that
mean
you'd want
talking
to
about
work with?"
Frontiers?
Yeah.
I honestly don't have the time. I honestly don't have the time. They never really amount to much anyway. I mean, uh, they get great players. Robin McCauley is
Yeah.
Flex. I mean, he's a great singer,
Mm-hmm.
but is it going to tour? Is it going
No.
to, you know what I mean? It's kind of
Yeah.
like a one-off thing, and I don't know. I just don't really.
No interest.
No, not really.
Hmm. I can see that because I've always said too, like when I do these interviews with these guys doing, like I'm interviewing Robin on Friday. Um, I would think I know for myself from when I played in bands, like the big thing is you want to be able to perform that music in front of a crowd.
Well, it just depends. I mean, if you have the time, why not? If someone
Hmm.
offers it to somebody and they have the time and they want to write the songs and they want to do it, that's totally fine. It's just I'm doing a bunch of gigs this year, and I'm
Sure.
not frankly going to have the time.
Right.
So it's not something that I could do, really.
Right. Hmm. That's interesting. We're going all over the spectrum there, Jiz. All over the
Indeed,
spectrum.
indeed we are.
So now that everything looks like it's opening back up and getting back out there, um, how? I mean, you got to be pretty relieved now because you sound like you might have been like going a little stir crazy, locked down with the whole pandemic.
I tried to stay positive and productive. That's what I tried to do. That's why I got the record in the book and everything like that. Yeah, it was a bad time for
Yeah.
everybody. I talk about it. It was a bad time for musicians, but also venues closed down. What are roadies going to do? Roadies need to tour in order to live. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And so everybody in the industry suffered. So yeah, it was a when they closed down countries and you can't even go into. I mean, I had to postpone my UK tour a couple of times. It's just yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, it was crazy. It really. It's so hard to believe like what everybody went through and lived through. Like it was almost like something out of a movie that you would never would have expected. And you see like the Facebook memories now from like 2 years ago, a year ago, and you're like, I can't believe that actually happened.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, we're seem to be opening up again,
Hmm.
and I'm doing a bunch of big shows, playing big sheds with the Skid Row Warrant thing. So that should be fun. I mean, I love playing those big outdoor M3 type places. It's just it's so much fun to get on that big stage.
Yeah, yeah. People, as a matter of fact, we got a comment here. Can't wait to see you at the Monsters on the
Yeah,
Mountain.
yeah. I mean, they're obviously when you play the big stage, it's just more fun. I mean, there's more room for me to do jumping jacks. I mean, it's more grandiose than playing a club. Some people say that they like playing the intimacy at clubs, but I just don't see it. I like playing the big places because it's just there's more, rock and
Yeah,
roll to the pound.
absolutely. Now, and then we have this question for you. Any other plans and ideas for your YouTube channel you can share with us?
Well, um, you know, I do the Jizzo's Hollywood stories, which are partly reminiscence and partly just fun, telling stories
Hmm.
maybe from some of my books. That all the Sunset Strip trash talk stuff. And I did a recent video where I sort of play guitar and talked about how I write songs. So I think, there will be some more of that, maybe a little bit more music, uh, me sort of strumming on the guitar and talking and playing music. So it'll expand, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's it's come pretty far. I mean, I saw a video of myself, one of the first ones I did, and it was me hanging on the Hollywood sign. I kind of did a talk about it, but I've noticed just the difference from that video to now, how I've sort of become more comfortable behind the camera, so to speak.
Right.
So yeah, it's fun, and yeah, do a bunch of stuff. I think.
Do you ever get tired of hearing that question about the whole Hollywood sign thing?
Um, I People ask about it because it was so crazy and iconic. So
Right.
that was, when I made the videos for my YouTube channel, I used actual footage from that time
Hmm.
that was archived, stuff people hadn't seen before. And yeah, I mean, when you see it in a video setting, and it really was pretty outrageous. I mean, the fact that I survived it and didn't fall to my death, or yeah, it was pretty outrageous. I mean, at the time, it's still outrageous.
Oh, absolutely. Are you surprised nobody else tried to do it? Especially in these day and times with social media. I mean, imagine how big that would be.
I I think people, I think the authorities would not be as nice as they were to me. You know what I mean? They kind of, I spent some time in the lockup and got a little slap on the wrist and a little fine. But I think now, they would probably employ tasers and you know what I mean? Because it was
Right.
just a different time.
Yeah.
When I did it back in 1992, they were just, what the hell?
Yeah.
There's a guy on a cross hanging on the Hollywood sign, and I suggest your viewers go watch it on my J Pro TV, because it's as nutty when I'm telling it to you as it was back then. But back then it had never been done, and people were just. And then afterwards, obviously, they installed all these hardcore security things like motion sensors and cameras, because they had frankly had it with people, effing with the Hollywood.
Right.
So
Right.
so you can
I,
thank me for all that.
I don't think people even like realize too. Like when you see the video of you doing that, you then get the reality of how freaking big that sign is. It's
Yeah, yeah. I talk about it because it was one thing to walk around and say you're going to do it, but when you're actually up there and looking up at it, it was intimidating. But if I hadn't have done it, it was kind of one of those things. If I had to do it. I was the power of Christ compelled me.
How about even like your peers? Like, Rudy Stars is back in the band. Does Rudy
Well,
come to you and
you mean
say,
like Jesus?
well, I mean, like Rudy or anybody, like you're playing with them, does this turn to you one day and say, like, what were you thinking?
Uh, yeah, a lot. Sure, sure. I mean, I think that yeah, people do kind of wonder. They do scratch their head for sure.
Deep down, though, I bet you everybody's a little jealous that they didn't think of it first.
Hey man, it was like one of those, when animals go crazy videos, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like feeding the deer seems like a real cool thing to do until till the deer eats you.
Well, you didn't get eaten and you didn't fall off, so it was a
No,
success.
and here I am. I live to tell the tale.
That's true. Jizzy, hell of a tale, hell of a lot of tales in all of your books. Where's the best place we should send everybody to get the books and the album?
JizzyPearl.net is to get the books. That's my place to get the books. Um, the record is the Golden Robot. So wherever it is distributed, be it record stores if they exist, or Amazon, you know what I mean. It's one of those things of yeah, wherever you can get it for sure.
Nice.
And as I said, the YouTube channel is easy enough to find, and you know, please subscribe.
And
I have to say it,
yeah, you have to, in every video you have to say, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button
No,
and ring the bell.
I used to not understand, but now that I'm one of the cult members, I understand that I have to be part of the cult.
Like I do a reselling business on the side, and there's like all these YouTubers that are like teaching you how to do this reselling thing that I've learned so much from, and it's unbelievable what these people are doing. They have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers from walking through a Goodwill and shopping and buying stuff and flipping it. It's like,
What I'm doing with my site is just it's just different. I don't think anyone's doing it, which is cool, and it makes it interesting for me.
absolutely. I'd like to. I mean, you mentioned I'd like to see it like almost kind of do like a storyteller's thing, playing guitar and do a couple
Yeah,
songs.
and I will, and I do. It's just, what were you thinking in the red room when you blacked out? I mean, it's just, it's think about what a dark, you know, blackout in the red room. It isn't she's my cherry pie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very think about it. You're talking about someone that's blacking out,
Mm-hmm.
and that has just sinister connotations to it. So yeah, our record had that sticker on it. Remember the
Yep,
stickers? Yeah,
that's right.
because yeah, I mean, we came from a different place. We came from a Bukowski Barfly drinking song. You know what I mean? We had our own little thing going.
Here's an interesting question that just popped up real quick too. Have you ever thought of writing a self-help philosophy? Uh,
What, like a Deepak Chopra thing or something?
I guess so. Yeah.
What's the secret of life? Uh, the short answer is no. No, no. Self-help. I'm not the guy I'm not your guru. I'm not the guy to go to. If you want to know, I'm a musician, and I'm a writer, and I do my thing, and some people dig it, and I hope, people check out my stuff and dig it, and I'm a singer, and I'm a performer, and I'm having fun, and I'm counting my blessings that I'm still able to do it, so many years later.
It's a beautiful thing. I'd love to hear it. I'm glad you are still doing it. Seriously.
That's right.
Jizzy, thank you so much, man. I hope to possibly see you when you come here to Nashville. I know you guys are coming in May for Creatures Fest, so hopefully
Sounds
we'll catch
good,
up.
man. Sounds good. All right. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, man. Take care.
All right. Bye.